Hello, hello. Who's this? Short hair and on time. A lot of things happened and changed in a day, I would say. Welcome to a business energy update that is very potent. There is a lot of things that are going on in the quantum, in the cosmos, and I even have notes here. So we have a lot to discuss. All the details, as always, you receive within the next days inside the Money Club, the energetics of business, of quantum business. I'm so excited. There will be also a rebranding happening on 8/8, 7 p.m. sharp, Christina. Exactly. Like, who is this woman who is on time? It's like, where's Ginger? Certain things had to go and caught up. So how are you doing tonight? It is Sunday. I'm in Munich. I have I have so many stories to tell. We will see in how far my open throat will let them out, but there will be some story time today as well. How are you doing? Say hello if you're watching this live. There will be a replay up for sure because we have a lot to cover. And then introduce yourself in the comments. Drop me your design. The HD Lounge will hear them for sure. Like they're crazy, crazy, crazy. But drop your human design in the comments. Say hello and how is the vibe? How are you feeling? How are you doing? And I am very curious how many people are showing up on time or 20 minutes later, which was usually when we go with the flow. I'm half right and half left. So my body is right. Christina is a quad right? So being on time, it's also about timing. That's for sure. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Tanya. How are you feeling? Vila is also here. Hello, hello. And it's very interesting to see myself on the camera with these short hair. It feels actually so normal. So normal. It's so interesting. It is, when you then suddenly do certain things and make that leap and make that decision and you manifest something, it is really an internal shift that happens. Then everything feels normal. Why? Why does this happen? I was not aiming for talking about this. But why it's actually happening is because we are in the process of becoming the match to our manifestations, whether it is in life or in business. And then we kind of get closer and closer to the alignment. And while we are going towards this alignment, we're raising our frequency, we get to become our match to it. And once the time collapses and you there's your manifestation, you raised your vibration, you were able to hold it. You do that damn thing, you cut off the hair, you flip the switch, and it's there. The client signs up, the money comes in, the man is in front of you, you reach that goal, you make that move. It's like, okay, I reached it. Now it does not actually feel normal. Have you ever had this, it doesn't actually feel like something special. Let me know in the comments, have you ever had this feeling of, I manifested the 10K, 50K, 100K. Thank you, Vila. I made that incredible leap. Thank you. You're also sweet. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my God. I receive it. I receive it. I receive everything. I had a deep transformation and now I'm there and it actually feels like fucking home. Feels like fucking home. And don't think that the short hair is like, oh, I'm now softer. I am softer, but I'm still very potent in terms of there's so much deeper fire that is sustainable. I feel, I'm so happy to see so many of you coming on. How are you doing? How are you doing today? Like there's so much shit going on in the cosmos. Like I don't know who I shared this with, but I call it the ice bucket challenge of the universe. Exactly. And for me, it is always not Marilyn Monroe. It's always Audrey Hepburn was one of my icon models, or Victoria Beckham. So I'm kind of Victoria Beckham style because I've always loved also fashion. Maybe one day I feel like chills now. I'm gonna have a fashion label for sure. Something with fashion. At the moment, now we dive right into the update on the things that I want to talk about. But I want to hear from you. Are the energies are crazy right now? Exactly. And it just started. And I said at the beginning, I even have notes here because even though I'm a third eye defined and I have, you know, a strategic personality in mind, I don't want to miss the things that I want to talk about and keep it very focused so that you with your open heads can receive it well and actually take something from this live stream. Time actually moves quicker. Even the earth is spinning faster, has also to do with what they're doing in CERN. So it is not only your feeling, the days go faster by, everything is spinning faster. And this has to do with CERN, and in the Money Club, in the Business Energetics membership that I have, I will go into that this week. It's like making the impossible possible. I have to move out from my gym exactly 2 weeks, including exactly. There is now, it's spinning. You have to be ready to be ready, and the things are getting even more crazy. In a good way when you know how to ride the wave. I always imagine it as surfing, and you have better practice to stay on the board. Hi, Kelly. To stay on the board and to ride the wave and enjoy the wave and have fun with it. Yeah, maybe we fall once in a while into the water, then we go up, get up and kind of do it again. But then you could, if you are not prepared, if you don't know what's coming, maybe there's a big wave coming and hit you and you swallow a lot of salt water. That is not enjoyable. So if I always know the reason why I'm so like, there has so much happened in my life the last 4 days and even the last month. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Kelly. Even the last month since the death of Henry on June 24th, my whole life is different. However, I know what is going on because I know what is in the cosmic field. I know what we're heading into 2025, 2027. And I also know with the mentors that I have and the studies, like if you could see it here, I have books here. I'm deep into the human design studies, and there will be new offers and programs coming which are very advanced because it's not time to dabble around with human design anymore. And I'm so fucking excited for it. But if you know what's coming, you can make the right decisions to get ready to be ready. You can understand what's going on with you instead of thinking you do something wrong, or you're crazy, or you don't have control. Do you agree? And this is what, when I look into the Telegram chat with the HD Lounge woman, and they share, yeah, I totally get it, and I'm feeling this way, but I know why. When I personally know what's going on, I told my mentor, like, what the fuck is going on in the cosmos? Tell me how this affects my energy, my chart. I can make better decisions in my business. And there's a reason why millionaires and billionaires have astrologers and now getting more and more into human design because of that. And I was on a call in a mastermind on Friday, the day where I was not online. That was a big business development and really a big day for my business and a new direction. I will share more next week about this. But what I noticed is that It really depends on how predictable is the future. And while we are creating our own reality, there are certain things that we know that are coming. There is now, we're moving into a recession. There is a downswing in the economy. There will be the frequency shift in 2027. This is coming. And people don't, a lot of, even if you're in the alignment industry, in the self-awareness business, I noticed that a lot of women don't know how to prepare for it or don't take it so seriously or are stuck in fear, in overwhelm, in emotions and energy. So the shit that hit the fan in my personal life, including a flooded kitchen last night, the energy is so vibrant, so frequency, and so many things are spinning. And I'm so cool. I have never felt that chilled, ever. And look at it. You know these moments where everything goes wrong, you're like, what the fuck? What am I doing wrong? Why am I manifesting this? Universe, what do you want to tell me? Nothing. It's just, are you trusting? Are you keep moving forward? Are you investing in your business, in your future, in yourself, despite the uncertainty, despite the things that are now going more and more downhill? It's like a slingshot, like it's pulling back to shoot forward. And while I'm talking, I would like to have a conversation with you. How are you experiencing this time? Because I want to, for myself, I want to do so many different new things. I want to create a podcast, a radio show. I will change the Money Club into something so incredible. And everything is now under the umbrella of get ready to be ready. This time that we are in right now, it's not just the Lionsgate, superficial, there's the spiritual community and, and pulling cards and tarot and all that. And there's the science-based quantum physics, astrology. It is like, this is the real shit. Yeah, the real deal. Everything else is kind of dopamine hit and trying to make you feel safe. Oh, there's the Lionsgate portal 88. No, we're just in it. And this is legit. What we're actually doing right now and experiencing right now, the energy is very expansive. Jupiter is retrograde and I'm gonna go into a couple of cosmic effects on this live stream so that you have an overview what affects this energy. And I will go deeper into this in the Money Club, in my energetic business membership the next days. And this is really the place where I want to have more and more of these information, and already did, because when you know what's coming, you can make aligned decisions based on in your design. This is the most important thing, strategy and authority. And then we go deeper into the deeper aspect of your design. But if you spiral out, if you cannot make the right next step and you feel stuck, you've got to work on this. Because staying stuck and not knowing the next thing slows you down. Because I deeply believe we always know what the next right step is. But our old self, the mind, is now trying to stay alive. We are moving out of the mind model into a embodiment energetics model. And what is happening when things are crumbling and breaking down and dying? They fight for their existence. They fight for their life. And so that means that whatever you're experiencing right now, your mind tries to keep you safe, which is okay, because this is what you learned, to think about the things, to try to find clarity, to feel safe. But there will be, and this is the thing. Okay, Tanya, sounds so good. The thing is that So I do believe that there is always something that is inside of you. Sarah, for example, when you say in hermit mode, sometimes we need to, this can also be a sabotage pattern because you know what you would like to do and you just don't trust yourself and you have a certain belief about yourself that is standing in the way. So what right now, and I did this live because I think it is super important to ask yourself a couple of questions and then take action. You don't need to know the big plan. The thing is that we are brought up, our upbringing, our parents, society always tells us you need a plan. Make a pro and cons list, map it out, be strategic. But we are not all of us are strategic. The variables show you what is your personality, what is your design. Like we are moving out of this one way cross of planning where we find security in a certain structure into fully self-reliance, individuality. You are fully self-defined, undefined from anything else. And you hear me dropping these words a lot lately. And I'm very much experimenting what that means for me. And it feels really, really empowering. And we're moving into an background energy where this energy that you have right now in terms of, I don't know, I don't have clarity, will be the constant energy. So if this is the constant energy of what the fuck is going on, I don't know where to plug in. It feels like, this is how I felt. Feels like I'm a balloon, like these air balloons, these little ones, you know, you had as a child. And you finally, as a child, you kind of lost it and goes like, Mom, my balloon. And I felt like some cord got cut. It was like no, it's not get comfortable with the unknown. You know, there is no unknown. Because when you know yourself, when you know your authority, and when you can understand your strategy, this is your golden anchor. And then from there, we can go deeper into your design. And we need to bring it back to the foundation and the basics. And then, in my world, we amplify this. It's both strengthening the foundation, but then look at all the other things. And I will share next week more about what these other things are that I'm using to receive, to kind of clear the channel, to receive the information from your authority. Because just knowing your sacral, knowing you are an emotional, knowing you're a splenic authority or a mental projector or self-projected, there is not such a full connection. It is not as natural, normal for us, most of us. I'm now living, like when you are fully living your strategy and authority, your mind has no chance anymore. And so what we need to work on is strengthening the strategy and the authority, understanding, because this is how we take aligned action, and we manifest only through words and action. But we need to look at other things in your chart that clean these channels, the connection to your authority, the channels so that you can hear yourself and feel your sacral and hear or identify the spleen and understand what is actually my emotional wave or what is actually still a trigger. And then we need to look at all the other centers that impact that. And we need to look at certain things in the variables that impact that. We need to look at the profile that impact that. Do you get what I mean? It's like it, drop yes if you get what I mean, because I'm feeling the less I go live. Once I go live, it is so potent and so advanced that I'm not sure if you're prepared for that. So I noticed that the crazier the energy is and the more you get thrown out of your old context and not yet have fully created this new environment and new context for your life and your business, The transformation, the transition phase is the most difficult, right? It is this in between. Not yet a woman, but no girl anymore, like this one song. It is this moving places, right? You have everything in boxes. You have no idea where everything is. It's totally chaos, but you know it's going to be amazing. You know there's another place that is even more aligned. And it is not hard, Vila. It just feels hard because your mind feels like I don't have anything to grasp on. But the point is, the energy that we're in right now, every week, it gets even more, a sense, a feeling for what is coming. When suddenly it is like the lights go off in 2027. But it is not on the 31st. It's like dimming down, and people will go like, what the fuck is going on? I cannot, it's simple things like I cannot reach anyone anymore at customer service. I cannot get, certain things in the bank systems will change. And especially over the next 12 months, actually this month in August started energetically a cosmical new year. So the energy that we're in right now, especially with Pluto retrograde, and Pluto went retrograde at the end of July, and he will be Jupiter. Jupiter is expansion. Jupiter is the money planet. And when I look at someone's placement of Jupiter in the human design chart, I know where to look at, which is kind of the key, where the keys are in the chart. It's not just where Pluto is, but then looking at the keys to unlock. So it is where Pluto is in your human design chart is like the door with a lock, but you don't have the keys. And so what we will be doing in some of the programs that I have prepared is I want to hand you the keys, because what is important. And so it is such a good time to be in the HD Lounge or to join the HD Lounge, because over the next month, we get an understanding of, if I'm fully self-reliant, will I survive? If I cannot ask anyone, not even my coaches, because there will even be a different relationship in mentorship. It's not anymore the answers. The keys to your truth are within you. Kelly, I am very honest here. The next step has to be a certain mentorship with the right person. And anything else is, to be honest, it's just slowing you down. And you have to ask yourself, what is standing in your way? The next step is in the making. This is there. It is about holding that energy and not spiraling out, because the thoughts that you're thinking, you wake up the next day and you think 90% of the same thoughts. And human design is mechanics. And when you go into an environment where people are thinking different thoughts, even this will affect you. So in the HD Lounge, in the Telegram chat, there is a different vibe. Amazing, Kelly. So HD Lounge, if you want my line 6 projector advice, HD Lounge would be the best thing next to my mentorship. But I think financially and investment wise, this is a perfect first step. The environment, the energy in the Telegram chat, and it is, I see it within myself. And on Friday, I was together with other business entrepreneurs who are not coaches, who are entrepreneurs, serial entrepreneurs. And I got so excited and looked at what is possible. And I'm thinking in product-based businesses. I am thinking, bye Tanya, I'm thinking in offering going into corporate and leadership coaching or training. I'm thinking really out of the coaching bubble. Yay, Tina. So happy to hear that. But I also want to give a clear advice that everyone who is in the basic or in the founding members of the HD Lounge, your next step actually has to be the full-on VIP membership to get into this new way of how we're going to set this up, which will be no programs anymore, but really pure mentorship where we get on more calls. I want this really to be already the setup, the new model that we're going into, where we're so in tune with our authority and our intuition and co-creating. This is what the conversations I had with these mentors and being in that energy is, I don't want anymore to think in structures of this is a program I packages up and then I sell it. I want to be like just the mentor for you and teach by me sharing what I just went through. And then you get coaching and we apply it for you. This will be then the future model. And I feel it already. I'm from the future. I got asked on Friday, are you from the future? I'm like, yeah. Kind of, yes, I feel it already. And the better you are prepared already existing in that model, you have this little bubble where you kind of train and strengthen your alignment and strengthen your intuition and strengthen for what's to come. And this is the most important thing. And then you don't spiral out. So any information about HD Lounge or Money Club, just shoot me a DM. I can send you and share with you a little bit more. But what I want to share with you here is what's actually going on. Just an overview for it, and then I share more on the Money Club. So what creates, do you have the feeling like there is a lot of death and rebirth happening in your life right now? Literally, maybe, like it was for me, because it's always a amplifier for pushing us forward. So if so, maybe you're also experiencing a lot of unexpected direction changes. New directions are showing up. So because what we have is Pluto is actually very present. In my chart, it is on my moon, and that explains a lot. So I'm working with this, and I'm literally not just sitting there. I'm like, okay, Pluto's over my chart, so there's a lot of death and rebirth. I use it in my favor. I always believe that the universe is showing us exactly kind of where the path is, and using it in our favor means getting fucking out of our own way and the resistance to it. So looking at what comes up, getting to the root of it quickly, learning the lesson and move on and pivot, that keeps our alignment. So Uranus is in gate 2 actually, which is Uranus is retrograde. So there's so many planets that retrograde. And retrogrades it means always slowing down and looking at the things. And so the energy is heavy. You might feel very tired. Also, as I said, the Earth is spinning faster because they're doing like shit at certain things. But also the Earth is heating up because we are mutating into this new 2027 era, which is the mutation of the solar plexus, and even the Earth is helping us to become the embodied beings that have this higher awareness of, which is a solar plexus is an awareness center, the higher awareness, and using that. And so the awareness center is not anymore the mind, it is the emotional solar plexus or our intuition, depending on what we have defined or not. And this is why all these planets are helping us to evolve. So we have Uranus in gate 2, and gate 2 is in the G center. It's actually, you can look it up in your chart, it's very down at the very bottom of the G center. and the gate 1 is in the top. So when the energy runs through the chart, we have the gate, the sacral actually, which is life force, which starts an evolutionary process. And so it's a creation process, and creation always gives us direction. So when Uranus is in gate 2, it gives us a new direction, what we are creating, and also our self-expression as new direction, our new sense of self. And now I'm sitting here and unexpectedly I have short hair. This is exactly Uranus gate 2. You know, these things then manifest in moves and actions. And I was sitting there, I'm like, I feel it. My spleen was, yes, let's go, let's cut it off. And you know, my hair was so long, and you know, these have been maybe 12 years of hair. So what is happening now, especially with Pluto retrograde, and I will be going into a deep dive into Pluto retrograde this week in the Money Club, because it is a lot about expansion and money, and business, and self-belief and confidence and ego. And so it closes actually a circle. Thank you, Marianne. Thank you. Merci. I feel like very French these days. Like French women also have short hair, and it's very Coco Chanel, right? So what I found really profound is that the things that were happening for me the last month actually cleared, especially with Henry's death, a lot of emotions, stuck emotions that I was carrying with me for 12 years. And now I know, and I actually knew that I am always have been in my life doing things so intuitively that then when I look at astrology, then when I look at human design, I get an affirmation like, yeah, I already did that. And so I'm very much avant-garde. I love this word. This word came to me today. Avant-garde is really what I'm representing now from the future, a couple of steps ahead. And this, I love this. And I love this. And I know so many of the women in my world, my clients, my community, you here, you also feel a couple of steps ahead, but sometimes your physical body doesn't know how to handle it because your environment, you're not so much in a supportive environment that enhances that facilitates that you fully live it. And that's why you're here. That's why you love my energy and my amplification, which is the defined heart center, which is the ego of, you know what, I own it. I do something with it. I commit to it. I execute it. I say yes to it. I hold my word to it. And I live it unapologetically, undefined. Can I get a yes if this resonates? So what we have right now is Pluto until the end of October. And actually it goes, at the beginning of September, it goes retrograde another time. And what then gonna happen is that especially projectors will have an increase of clients because people will have a frequency. So Pluto will activate a channel, a connection from the head to the third eye, and this is my connection will be activated, which I'm fucking excited about. It's 6124. Yes, Christina. And so what's going to happen is that people will be confused and will have a lot of questions, and they go like, yeah, but how, but how, but how, but how, but how? How do I do this? And so guides and mentors, and especially projectors, but also any other type that is a mentor or coach will have the opportunity to get more clients if you do your homework, if you are clear on what your new offerings are, if you are clear in communicating that. Because if you cannot, here's the first assignment or exercise that you can take away from today. You have to ask yourself, can you answer this one question that I'm telling you now with only one word. How do you serve your clients? What is the one, when you put it in a nutshell with one word, that you sell your clients? And this word must be felt, seen, heard, recognized in your brand. And not only visuals, branding is content, how you express yourself. Your definition in your human design has to be expressed and infused and infuses your innovations, your creations. And your individualism actually creates these offers, your uniqueness. This is so super important, because then you also know who your ideal client is and who to speak to and how, and then we go into the way to sell and to market and to deliver. Like, this is the whole quantum business model. But you have to be clear about this. And if you're not clear, find someone who help you find clarity, because there's an opportunity at the end of October that you will gain more clients. And if you have just one offer, super clear, HD Lounge ladies, we're going to work on that, then you can cash in a lot of very, very intuitively by just you amplifying that and talking only about this and, getting into your excitement. You will have clarity about this. So Jupiter is the reason why we are very much in this. So Jupiter is inviting us to reflect a lot, reflect about ourselves, about our self-belief, because it will be active in 2 gates. It will be retrograde in 2 gates, in gate 17 and in gate 25. So what that means, I will share in the Money Club tomorrow or the next day. But definitely it is an invitation to look at your desires. Your Jupiter is about expansion. What do you really want? Yeah. We need to look at your goals, your destiny. This is the year of destiny. If you don't have your shit together in terms of are you heading in the right direction, then you can want what you want, but if it's not aligned, Uranus will come in, Pluto will come in, kind of cut it out. Things will die. It will be erased. The universe is just sweeping everything out, and there is your clean canvas. And then what? So Jupiter is amazing, and I'm like, thank God. I mean, thank the universe. Like, all these planets are working for us. The neutrinos are infiltrating our energy field. We kind of, the more clear your body is, the more clear your crystals can receive the neutrinos, the more you can work with it. And for me, it's like, oh yeah, of course, it's clear. So we work with Jupiter a lot around the ego and the heart center. And I'm now at a point that I know what's coming. I'm avant-garde. I'm very much ahead. And there was a moment where I usually put out an offer right away. But this time I really waited a little bit and looked at, okay, how often will I receive the invitation to decondition the heart center? And it came up a couple of times the last week. And now I'm super excited to create something and to invite you into a space to clean and upgrade and decondition your ego and your heart center, because Jupiter is now retrograde and Jupiter is helping us with this. And this is actually the new business model as well that you need to establish in your business, that when we have, I mean, imagine that when we are living in an era where we are fully led by our intuition, by energetics, and not by the mind, in terms of this is my content plan, and this is my launch plan, and this is my income goal. And so I break it all down, and just really intuitively, I'm going through this, I'm mentoring with my mentor and working on my alignment. So the more I'm in tune with the cosmos and the energies, I know what comes up for me. I work through it. I bring this through my amplified self-expression into an offer. My people see me transforming literally in front of their eyes. And then you have two things. You have to be able and master and really learn to self-market and sell. That's then all that you need. Simple, isn't it? Because self-promotion is the key. And what is self-promotion? It is having a personal brand. And having a brand means not the fonts, not the colors. You can change them at any point. Brand means people trust you. And then I could literally sell brand consulting, because you'll see my design, you see my programs, you see what I create every day. I do it myself. I don't have a graphic designer. I could also offer, I mean, if you're interested, just shoot me a message. I actually was thinking about do brand consulting and kind of create with you your upgraded branding, including the content and marketing, so not just fonts and colors. I could, and you have to think about this too. If people trust you, they see you doing it, and then they buy from you whatever, you feel intuitively excited about. Self-expression is where the money is coming from. So the more you're self-expressed, the more you create. And your self-expression infuses and informs your strategy and authority. So I could also consult in style, and fashion. Hi, Alina. So that would be something. And then Jupiter is also inviting us to look at our self-marketing, selling, and branding, because Jupiter is our confidence and our self-beliefs. It is expansion. It is the money. And where's money coming from? When people trust you, when you're in your confidence. So we need to look at the main center is the heart center, and the other centers that surround it that impact the frequency of that. What you radiate out is what people receive. And I want to ask you a question. Do you feel people more intensely? Do you feel more than what they say? Do you feel like you receive information just by, you saw me transforming, you see me transforming, like you feel my energy is different? This is also, it is more obvious, right? And you also will feel if people are faking it more obviously. And I do already. Drop me a yes if this resonates with you, that I see that you're still there. So what actually is, this is what actually sells. This is what people perceive. And you can put words out there, but actually it will, this is so sad, but it's true. People will more obviously feel if you're trying so hard to be perfect. The good girl pattern will show up even more. This faking it, the being part of a clique in the coaching industry that is defining their worth so much around the numbers they made at the end of the month. And even coaches define their success mainly and measure it on their clients' results. And I'm not turned on by any of that anymore. There was a time where my defined hard, this healthy comparison, and I have possibility view. So as I was around these entrepreneurs, I looked at what they're doing, and my defined heart really got like, oh, I want this too. Oh yeah, I could do this. Possibility. I want this too. I want this too. Spleen said then yes, no, yes. Just because there are possibilities doesn't mean I have to do it or gonna do it everything, right? But now with all this chasing money and celebrating money, I love money, but this is not anymore my main extrinsic factor, because something in me knows that this is gonna fall away. And it's so interesting. Your body already knows. And there's a resistance within you, and so many say, this is just your blocks, right? This is your conditioning. This is your wound from whatever it's coming from. And I say, yes, maybe, And let's look also at what is deeper, this knowing of what you really want. And so when it comes to the ego, I encourage you, and what we go into the new offer, invitation, space, immersion. I don't know what to talk about, what to name it, but if you want to work with me around deconditioning of your ego, I have something for you. Let's say it this way. So what important is that we go deeper and prioritize our wants, our desires, and trusting our feeling. What turns you on, sacrals? What gives you an emotional feedback, emotional authorities? What makes your spleen go, yeah, this buzzing? There's something in for you. And we need to prioritize ourselves. And I say prioritize yourself with capital S, to then prioritize your self-worth and prioritize your wealth. Like these topics will come up over the next weeks a lot, I tell you. And this, I want this, but then what? And I had these stories up on Friday in the train that this would be my next move, but then my conditioned self, my not self, has all these thoughts. Why not? Then my next level self, she would be telling myself, of course you can do it. This is all self-belief, all self-image. Do you let me know in the comments? You have on the one hand your heart and you want this, and then your head goes, you look at yourself, you have this image about yourself, and that you cannot do it. Because you look at yourself and you look at the definition that your mind has about you in terms of, yeah, but you are a person who only has this amount of followers. You are a person who does not know how to attract clients. You are a person who does not have engagement on their posts. You are a person, blah, 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 blah. Mark. Yes or yes? I have this voice in my head all the time. Even me. This voice will not stop unless it gets unless we are faster than our voice. That means we need to do the damn thing. We need to do it and just ignore that you're so good at ignoring your intuition. So why not flip it and ignore your fucking mind? You are also good at ignoring your intuition and your heart. And even me, you're listening to me and you're like, yeah, you're right, but you're ignoring me and my authority, my external. I'm the only one who can give you external authority as a line 6 and a projector. You come to me and tell me, what shall I do? And I tell it and you fucking ignore my advice. And no shame, okay? It's all good. It's just your not self is so conditioned to do that so that you stay small. Because the darkness will feed on women who are broke. The darkness is so interested in you suffering. The darkness is interested in you telling yourself the bullshit and the self-judgment and sitting in self-doubt because it's all low frequency they can feed on. And so you kind of turn yourself in a battery for these dark entities. That's disgusting. And they feed on you. Imagine you would be in love with life and yourself and your image and your business and a man all the time. You had butterflies and everything you see is pink and there's no darkness. You're pure love. And you're pure light. And light is always stronger than darkness. So I am leading you into light. And I want you to look into the mirror and go like, I'm fucking amazing. And I can do whatever I want. And I will figure it out. And even if it's not today, what matters is the background frequency of, I'm stronger than this. I'm fucking resilient. I have my people around me, my community, my mentors, my friends, my partner, everything in your life, you have to set up so that they can hold you, these vibration with you. We cannot do it alone. Okay? That's why I do what I do. And I tell you, don't fucking ignore me. No, you know what I mean. Okay? So lastly, you have to ask yourself, so these things are important to work through Jupiter retrograde, because here's the thing. Jupiter goes direct November 23rd. This is close to the new year. You have to be ready on the train to destiny and really get your shit together, because doors are closing. And actually, this week with the Lionsgate portal and all this cosmic constellation that's going on right now, with the full moon at the end of next week, if you have not put aligned action towards that destiny, it just gets harder. It's like swimming upstream. That's just what I want to say. So trust yourself and make that first step. Whatever that first step is okay for you now. Don't ignore the voice of your heart. This is all what I want to say. Your heart knows, and you won't have this feeling if you were not ready for it. This is always what I tell myself. The universe would not give me that if I would not be ready for it. If I couldn't handle it, yeah, Alina, so what is the aligned action that you are doing beyond what you're doing? Like, where's your edge? What is it that you actually know it's time for and you have ignored the entire time? Do that. Leap into it. Try everything that is possible. Do everything that is possible. Not trying. Do everything that is possible to make that step. So, and I would love to coach you deeper, but I cannot do this on a live stream. I want to look at your chart, right? So, the last thing that you have to be aware of is that gate 36 is the gate of crisis. And it's so interesting because the gate of crisis is what the collective feels. Gate of crisis is everything is crumbling. Gate of crisis is an emotional gate that goes up to the throat. I have it active. I have it defined. I don't have it active, I have it defined, but it's very active with all the transits and all the people all the time. So it's my home turf. And what that means is that you actually have to learn how to turn shit into gold. This is a very much line 3, line 6 energy. And we all have line 3s and 6 in our chart as a color. So, and the gate 36 is actually active for the next 1.5 years, while the cross of planning is crumbling, while we are in these nodes, South Node, Scorpio, North Node, Taurus. Everything is telling you that you gotta get your shit together. And this is karmic shit. Like this is stuff that is 12 years old. So for me, what actually is now happening is that I'm even cleaning karmic stuff that is from past lifetimes or from my mother inherited. I'm cleaning things that I have not done and closing these things that I have not done and ending these things and stop doing these things and finally find back to my true path, where I felt I went into a different direction for 12 years. That's amazing. This is a once in your lifetime opportunity to do that. And that's why we will have even more people spiraling out. That's why we will have even more people who are feeling emotional. And if you cannot handle this, it will just be very much harder. And you see people acting out. And I had so much happening on this trip here. It was a 12-hour trip. It was like a trip, like a trip. But I was sitting there in a train, and like people were acting out. People are explosive. Mars is currently, we still have the conjunction energy, like Mars, Uranus, Taurus, everything's like explosive. It's really interesting that everything is so clear right in front of you, and it is really interesting how little people get it and do something with it. So, if you know what's going on, you can make decisions and actions, and this is all that matters. So, the 3 questions that you get to ask yourself. Exactly, Kelly. Isn't it interesting? And for me, it is finally that you do all the inner work. You do all the inner work and homework and studying and self-awareness shit, but you felt like you could not fully do it. There was always the brakes on, and now it's finally that I feel like this new moon this month kicked something off that suddenly, boom, you do it. And especially with Jupiter retrograde, it is about finally we can reflect on our finances. Finally we can reflect on our self-belief and the self-thoughts that we have. And Jupiter, I feel like, is the massive expander for all areas in our life, including relationships. It's kind of the amplifier of the North Node. But the Scorpio, Pluto, Uranus brings all the shit up that we need to face. You cannot move into a new apartment with bringing the old stuff with you. Because this old, ugly couch doesn't fit in your fancy 5-star apartment, right? It's like, not a vibe. Not a vibe. We need to upgrade. Okay? So, the thing that helped me the last days, and actually the last month most, is to bring it all down. And I was writing about this in my reel today. In the reel that I created, but I will post it tomorrow, about the one thing that I value most. And I will share it tomorrow, what that one thing is. And you have to ask yourself, what is it actually that you value most? Because we usually think that that thing is only possible if you have the money and the success and the fame and the man and the relationship and everything. But what I found is really that the more I align and benchmark Sven is my hairdresser. Sven, do you like that? Sven is my hairdresser who hasn't seen me with this. Sven, magst du meine Frisur? I was just talking a little bit German. Funny. So what I found is that when you make that a benchmark, and I think I shared it yesterday on my stories a little bit, when you actually flip it, instead of making it a reward, but you make it a requirement for everything that you do, that one value. I want to ask you, everyone who is here live, and also in the replay, what is your value? What do you value most? And I see everyone who's here live, so if you jumped on a little bit later, you can also say hi. But what do you value most? Drop this in the comments, the one word. Keep it simple. Keep it really the one thing that pops up right away, intuitively. What is it? And I bet that most projectors and manifestors say freedom. Honesty. Beautiful, Alina. So, authenticity. Loose. So, freedom, Vila, yeah, as a manifestor, of course. So what you can ask yourself is, the second question you have to ask yourself is everything that you're doing in your life benchmarked and attuned and aligned towards that? And you have to, so Alina, this is integrity. So that means integrity, honesty with myself. I mean, actually there is a word that is higher because you're always benchmarking your honesty, your integrity towards something. So what would be the one word that kind of captures that towards what you're checking in, like the values, the things that you're living by, whatever it is, like you can kind of break it down a little bit more. So when you go and then look at, am I attuning? Am I aligning? Am I really living my life and my business based on that? How would that look like? And prioritizing everything that you do to feel exactly this. So that means for me, it is freedom as well. And so I am looking at, okay, how free do I actually feel? And splenic definition has a lot to do with freedom because I'm spontaneous. There cannot be a box. There cannot be set structures. There cannot be actually a schedule or a time. Everything that ties me towards something, and I'm Aquarius as well. So even a man or a relationship or a space or a place, everything that requires a hard commitment kind of takes away the freedom, right? But then there are different facets of freedom because even in a relationship, you can feel free if the level and the quality of the relationship is really aligned with that, and this requires work, right? So, and then the third thing is, are you really fully expressed in that? Can you speak about it once you do not feel free? And most of you, I would say, have your highest value as is freedom. Freedom to be yourself. To actually, I see it actually as the word in itself because Uranus is ushering us into this new paradigm of individualism. We're moving away from this community circuitry into pure individual, and that means pure freedom of being yourself. But most of you don't feel safe in being yourself, and this is what we need to work on now, because you will not ask for what you really want if you don't trust yourself and don't really are able to express that freedom in a way that your throat is blocked because your emotions and your heart center and into sacrum, whatever is so clogged, is in a low definition. It's in this conditioning. Do you see how this all fits together? Do your offers represent this value that you just mentioned? Do your clients match this? Do your clients give you the freedom that you want? And I don't talk about money. It's the way to be. And that's actually egoistic, right? And this is the heart center again. So it all comes down to this, because the heart center, most of us are not pure individuals. So the ones who have who have more individual channels have already a feeling for what life 2027 will be, but are highly conditioned in not living it. And then what the second match to that frequency is as a defined ego. But then we need to go into a healthy expression of it. So it's not me. It's I am who I am. And I'm also for others, and I'm with others, and I can be equally to others. This is healthy. And then the frequency that matches that next is as a manifester, the freedom, or as a projector, also the same. This all comes down to individualism. So if you don't feel confident in living your value, you will not be able to create the business based on it, and you don't live your values that makes you most magnetic and most strong and actually carry the codes for your clients, and you will not be successful. It is actually very simple in that chronology. And my third eye just broke it very clearly down to you. And you will also will be creating a very authentic, very strong personal brand where you feel free to be yourself, and people will then feel that the energy is off, like I said at the beginning. So the thing is that I was studying yesterday marketing and branding from this normal industries, like any industry that you go in uses branding and brands for marketing. But the difference between a normal brand, a product brand like Mercedes, for example, or a personal brand is the level of trust. So studies actually said that people would trust their doctors who kind of cut them open and do surgery on them more if they had a personal brand, because what that means is actually that they know you because you are honest, you are in integrity. There is no faking in front to make the sale. There is no faking to stage it on Instagram to make a show. The background frequency, when you have a personal brand, when you have an authentic brand, you speak your voice, you talk about the things, people see you, you show yourself in living the results of the transformation or the work that you're offering, right? This is all that I'm talking all the time, like years. Self-marketing. This will be the key that will unlock your money codes in your design. And what makes you your personal brand is the radical ownership of who you are. This is your ego. This is the work around the heart center. And that's why I am so convinced that what I'm doing is now niching down even more for all the women and the men. I'm also about to launch and offer specific programs just for men because they have their issues with their masculine and their feminine, exactly like we do, but in a different balance or dominance, let's say. But it all comes down to taking radical ownership over your ego and being egoistic. And so egoist is the invitation, the space, the immersion that I've created that I will do with my clients in 10 days. Not this coming week, the week after. I will do a multiple day masterclass where we go deep around the deconditioning of the heart center. And we will cover all these topics that Jupiter brings up, from confidence über desires, unapologetically owning and self-expressing what you want and how you want it and living it, also bringing it into the business in terms of marketing and content and branding and offers and client attraction. We will look at money, the money blocks in the chart, the self-worth, also the self-beliefs. And most importantly, I will coach you through those codependency, people-pleasing, overgiving, yourself underpricing, under-prioritizing, like deprioritizing, putting yourself back, all these looking for validation. I will do the work for both. This work is around the ego, the heart center, for defined and undefined. Every woman, every man has to do work, no matter, like for you undefined, even more. But even me as a defined heart, I had to do this work because there's a low definition and a high definition in any expression of what you have in your chart. But it is the key to unlock the money anchors in your chart. So egoist, and the name is egoist, because I want you to prioritize yourself, capital S, your self-worth, and your wealth. Prioritizing yourself and your wealth. And that is what we will be doing, not next week, the week after. If you're in the HD Lounge, you're in, you don't have to worry, you can lean back. If you want to join, here's how to join. Today, I'm offering it for $555 as pay in full, or a 2-month payment plan, or a 3-month payment plan, starting with $244. Okay, very simple. I have 3, there's a bonus that I have 3 spots. If you want to join today and pay in full, you get a month of Money Club, this month Money Club as a bonus. The Money Club is the membership that I have. It's month to month. It's 111 euros. It's my lowest mentorship and membership. If you want to work with me, if you love the information for today, I will actually put this in the Money Club, because this is exactly what I do multiple times per week. And then I also share other downloads that I do not share here anymore. Everything that I shared for free or in a space which were not so received, I put in there. So you could also join just the Money Club, and there's a special offer if you join for the entire year. If you're interested in that, then just message me, because if you join for the next 5 months, for the rest of the year, which I highly recommend, so much is coming, then you get a coaching call with me, and that is the second option, to know what's coming and to be prepared and take aligned action. I'm super excited for this. So these 2 options you have. Kelly is in for the masterclass. Okay, Kelly, we are also talking. You can message me. We can talk again about the HD Lounge. If you want to join now, the HD Lounge, the price will go up once I rebrand it, which will come at the end of the month. So you can still join the the HD Lounge for $11.11. It's right now $1,111. The price will go up, will double actually, when I introduce the new model. So if you want to do that, message me. Okay, and it's included, and in the HD Lounge there is all the programs are included, and the coaching call and the Telegram support. And how you could check my chart, what's the product for that, message me. We can, so what I do is, in the HD Lounge, I always look at your charts. You have the programs, you have the Telegram chat where you can ask me everyday questions, and we have a monthly coaching call. It will change into a different model where we have more calls, kind of mastermind style, that we hop on a Zoom call multiple times per month. Yeah, where I coach you and I teach more from the embodiment and line 6, which I love, like being here, what I did today. But imagine you could raise your hand and tell me your story, and I look at your chart and I coach you exactly on the topics from today. This is what I desire for me, because I close the computer now and I feel like, damn, actually, I want to coach you. Because you go now and we're like, okay, what does it mean for me? You know? So I'm creating that to be more free in my self-expression. And if you join now, you can join for 1,111. You're so far away from me. No, you're just right in front of my camera. No comparison allowed, because just because you're line 6, it's just you're line 6. Your design is completely different. So you cannot even compare yourself to me, because it doesn't make sense. We are totally different. But I would love to talk about the HD Lounge with you if you want to. Okay, so just to recap, there is the egoist coming, It is a multiple day masterclass. It's 555, and then there's the payment plan. And if you pay in full, you get 1 month of Money Club as a bonus. If you love this live stream today and I want to get more information about this and more behind the scenes, more insights of my downloads and business energetics, then the Money Club is for you. It's 111, just one per month. And there's a bonus if you join for the rest of the whole year. And then the full mentorship with me next to my private coaching is the HD Lounge. Okay? If you have any questions, just send me a message. We can chat. If you want to work in a different way with me that I did not mention, absolutely make me an invitation. Just message me. Okay? So I'm excited to see you in my DMs. I will go for a walk now, so I'm available in my DMs. And if you want the link for Egoist and you want the Money Club 1 month for free, sign up today, okay? There is a time limit. 24 hours, and then tomorrow the bonus of the Money Club is over. It's just my spleen goes, okay, we just do it for 24 hours. Okay, shoot me a message. And then if you loved this live stream, I will put it up later and share it on your stories. Help me to spread the message and the information to any woman that needs to hear this, also in your community. That would mean a lot to me. Thank you so much, and I talk to you soon. Bye.